Welcome to another wonderful Hanging from the Balcony podcast, guys.
A little more.
So sorry, boss man.
Little more. There you go. Perfect.
Welcome to another podcast, guys, of Hanging from the Balcony, where we talk about movies, and more movies. I am Sir Jarod on the Twitter. Behind me, Nathan L. Betts.
Hi.
Clear over here across the room, we got at Bad Thomas, apparently.
What?
Thomas the Doubter.
Doubting Thomas.
Thomas.
We made something up for you for a Twitter handle because we don't know what yours is. so you're at Bad Thomas.
Bad Thomas.
This is
apparently.
news to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then at the Professor,
which we know. Which we are positive that the Professor is probably already taken on the Twitter.
It's gotta be.
Yeah.
So
all your followers are now going to have some other random guy's going to get them.
That's right.
Fine.
How does that make you feel?
All my followers, all
How does it
of
make
them.
you feel? All
of a bitch.
13. How does that make you feel?
Listen, if you're following me on Twitter, you're going to be very disappointed.
because it's not actually him.
I don't post.
All he does
anything
is
yet.
post dick pics.
It's just dick pics.
That's what you're going to get from his Twitter is dick pics.
Yum, and they're not even his.
They're miscellaneous homeless men that he finds on the street. Yeah, work it.
Oh yeah, stroke it.
God.
Ooh, anyways, let's get started with our, like we always do, where we talk about new release movies or movies that we have seen that are new to us, and we're going to discuss them. And maybe they're movies that you're thinking on seeing, so you can determine whether or not you want to watch it or not. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay, Professor.
The Professor. I saw Now You See Me. That's the magic con man movie with Jesse Eisenberg
right.
and Woody Harrelson and
Oh, yeah.
Michael Caine and Morgan
I
Freeman.
kind of wanted to see it.
How
and
was it?
Dave Franco and Common, and I could go on.
Common's in it?
There's
I'm seeing that.
He's not a huge part. It's good. I really liked it. I did. I thought it was okay. It's a con movie, right? And it's a magic trick movie. So the whole point is, even though the guys inside the show are running a con to trick like the FBI and so forth, the movie itself is running a con on us. And you should know that anytime you watch a con movie, the movie will be running a con on you. Mm-hmm. And it's the same with magic tricks. Anytime it's a show about magicians, they're going to pull some magic on you.
Oh, Burt Wonderstone did that?
No, Burt Wonderstone is a piece of shit. So,
I missed it then.
In fact, and go watch this. I won't tell you what the number is, but at the start of the movie, you hear Jesse Eisenberg saying, "Okay, here's the cards. I'm gonna show you some cards. You pick a card," and he just flashes cards past you. Right? Just goes. And he goes, "Okay, did you get a card? Did you see something that you like? Okay, now think of that. I'm going to show you again. Okay, now." And then he does the trick for this girl on screen. She's like, "Da-da-da." And he goes, "Is this your card?" And the card comes up, and it's the card I picked. And I turned to Kimberly, and I'm like, "That was my card." And she goes, "It was mine too."
Oh, that's fucked up.
Everyone in the theater picked that card.
Because it shows it for just a split
I don't
second,
know, maybe.
and your mind picks up on
That's
it.
awesome.
No magic.
But see, okay.
That's brain magic.
First of all, you
David
should probably
Blaine
know
shit.
that magic is not actually magic.
What?
We all know that. We go into a magic show.
No.
You're not like, is that guy really floating? Did he really
Of
cut
course
her
he
in
is.
half
Haven't
and
you
use magic?
seen Lord of the Rings?
Exactly. So we know it's a con, but that's the joy of magic.
Have you
is
seen Dark Creatures?
No. Did I see Dark Creatures?
Jeremy Irons is in
You
it.
never want to see it.
That
It's
sounds
looks
terrible.
like a pile of shit.
Okay. But anyway, it's a fun movie. The acting's good. Mark Ruffalo, that's another big name. He's really good in it, and they're all
Hulkster.
They're all good.
Does he turn into Hulk?
He does.
Like,
Does he get
like
really
while
angry?
they're stealing?
I
like,
will tell you
money,
this,
he just
though.
hulks out onto him.
Dave Franco. You know who Dave Franco is,
Is that
right?
James' brother?
Yeah.
Is it really?
It's his younger brother.
That's
He's been in
awesome.
a few movies. You maybe saw him on the last season of Scrubs. Dave Franco's one of the four magicians, and he's kind of, because he's the least known actor, he's kind of just off in the background most of the time, and he says his lines, but he's clearly not the focus of the movie. And then about, I don't know, the last quarter of the movie, they're like, "Hey, Dave Franco, you have to do this one job." Well, he gets involved in a fight with one of the FBI guys, and it's the coolest scene of the whole movie. I came out of that movie going, Dave Franco. No, but it's a lot of fun. I actually would recommend it. We went with Kim's parents, and we all had fun. So, I mean, it's something you can take your in-laws to and not be too worried about it. I think everyone will have a good time. And I recommend it. Go see Now You See Me. I didn't see After Earth because I saw this one instead. I'll go see After Earth sometime this coming week, I think. But frankly, this one looked better, and it was actually worthwhile. So go see, Now You See Me. It's worth it.
Nice.
All right, what do you got, Thomas? What'd you see?
I watched a couple different movies. I watched Gangster Squad. I saw the preview for it for the theaters a long time ago. It's out now.
Where'd you see it?
I just rented it on Redbox. It's not on Netflix yet.
That's when I saw in the theater.
Yeah, and to be honest, I thought they did a terrific job with making it look like it's from the times. Was it in the 40s or something like that?
Yeah, right after the war.
Yeah.
Right after the war.
So 40s, 50s. And, they do a good job at that. The costumes. The actors are good. The villain remind me...
Sean Penn.
Sean Penn, he was terrific. He was very entertaining to me. I mean,
really? I thought he was from Dick Tracy.
No, absolutely. And I liked it for some reason. But but actually, the thing I didn't like about it was I didn't like the writing, the way the story. It didn't flow for me. Not only that.
Oh no, the story's a mess, and I think you're right. It's one of those movies that probably was good the first draft, and then they reworked it 40 times.
Yeah, and then also, I don't know what they were thinking with the cameras, but generally speaking, during a lot of the action scenes, I swear the quality of the equipment they were using just dropped. At one point, during one of the last fight scenes, I don't know if anyone else, or if you noticed, but it looked like they were using almost a cheap camera. As far as
a handheld camera kind of thing?
Almost, but it was still clear.
Like a flip cam?
Yeah, no, it was just like
a GoPro?
The lighting was different, and it was very distracting to me. But
I was so frustrated with that movie by the final fight that they could have used, an iPhone, and I wouldn't have noticed the difference.
They had such a good cast. I was really looking forward to that.
It's a top flight cast.
Oh, man. It was a disappointment, unfortunately. Like I said, they did a good job of the costumes, the cars, the crowd, the music. Just that was all very entertaining. But overall, the story was too disjointed, and a lot of stuff didn't make sense. So that was quite the disappointment there. And then the other movie I watched, a friend introduced to me, was actually a musical. And it's Repo, the genetic opera.
Now, I've heard about this. I've never seen it. Who's in that?
Oh,
Isn't Paris Hilton in there somewhere?
Okay, and I guess the story behind Paris Hilton... No, I know. But I guess the story behind that is they let her in... she paid for the costumes. And then, unfortunately, she doesn't play that big of a role. So, and the parts where she does sing, surprisingly, it works for her character. She's almost playing herself. She's a spoiled brat. She's not talented. So you're just kind of like, okay,
I love
whatever.
the names Luigi Largo.
No, and actually, the sets, the costumes, the characters, they do a very good job of putting you in this dark world. It takes place in the future where and it sounds a lot like Repo Man, so I don't know if Repo Man took a page from this film.
This is from 2008.
I feel like this movie came out after Repo Man with
well, this is based off
Jude
a play,
Law
actually.
Jude Law and
I forgot
Whitaker.
the play is called, but in any case,
it's the same thing though. In Repo Man, they harvest
the organs.
If you don't pay up on your organs,
it's
they
very
come take them
dark
back.
and bleak and depressing, and plastic surgery and surgery this, and but they do a good job of putting you in that
you're
world.
right. You're right. This came out before.
This did come out before Repo Man.
I thought it did.
Wow.
But
There you go.
I thought Repo Man was from a long time ago for some reason.
Yeah.
And I don't know the
swear I
connection.
saw that
I was going to
12
actually
years
do a little
ago.
research. No, the characters are great. Most of the actors are good. The only drawback, and I don't mind a musical, obviously. The only drawback is it's one of those musicals where it's one number after another. There's not a rest or respite where there's very much conversation.
Some actual conversation.
Yeah,
going on.
there's some, but it's mostly just one song after another. And then, but the music is a lot of fun. It jumps around, like they go into rock, they go into actual opera. There's some actually amazing opera singers in it. There's a punk, even though that punk song, but that was kind of lame. Kind of reminded me of Blink-182. So,
so it'll be awesome.
No, but no.
So it's gonna be the worst movie ever.
It is gory. They repo organs, so there's some gore involved, but. If you like,
it did really poorly with critics. Why did critics hate it so much?
To be honest, maybe it could. I guess it lacks maybe substance.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, there's not very much conversation. The music's all a little sporadic and different. So maybe it was harder to tell the story that way.
I could see that.
But I enjoyed it. It was fun. It's not by any means I wouldn't put it up there with any of the greats as far as musicals
Would
go,
you say it's as good as Hedwig and the Angry Itch?
I can't. I've never actually
Have you
seen
guys
that.
not seen
I've
that?
never even heard of it.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, go watch Hedwig and the Angry Inch.
No. And if you have a macabre,
Is that about an ingrown hair?
No. It's a rough one. You guys
34%.
will love it, but it's terrible. It's great.
I'm not saying it's
Should we see it?
But the
check it
audience
out.
gave it a 72.
If you like,
Yeah.
I was gonna say I think it's more of a fan, a cult classic type
Like
movie.
a cultish
Yeah,
thing. I
whereas-
can see
Damn
that.
it. Sorry.
Maybe it's not getting the best.
Gotta stop touching that thing.
Yeah, maybe it's not getting the best reviews, but I enjoyed it. If you like a good
Type in
musical-
Hedwig. Hedwig.
For Rotten.
Yeah, for Rotten Tomatoes. Let's see what they say. Hedwig.
Once again, it is very
no
macabre,
way,
very
just
dark.
HED. Dark.
Dark. It has
Paris
gore in
Hilton-y.
it. Well, she's not in it very much, but don't let her ruin the movie for you.
Sure.
Look
at the scores
Holy
on that.
crap!
I loved it. I thought it was great.
Is that a musical? I'm assuming.
Yeah, it is.
When did it come out?
2001.
2001, yeah.
It's about a gay man, so if that makes you uncomfortable, you might not like it as much.
Well, that's kind of vague.
Well,
You might as well say it's about a man.
That's true.
because all men are gay.
Well,
Well, I don't know. There's people out there that don't want to see gay stuff. I watch so many gay movies that Netflix has been recommending just gay stuff for me.
Oh,
Is that weird?
I don't.
You
care.
watch one. You watched. I watched Kevin Smith's his big one.
Oh yeah. Chasing
the girl,
Amy.
Chasing Amy.
Right.
And now it's just like, hey, you watch Chasing Amy? You like fucking dudes in the butt, right?
Yeah, that's same
you go.
thing for me.
Gay movies. It's like, dude, I watched one. Give me a break.
Yeah. Well, Brokeback Mountain's good too. We're off topic though. Okay, so Repo Man, I have to say though, Gangster Squad I thought was bad.
It was bad.
And it's the story. It's because somebody clearly didn't make the script make sense.
They obviously had the money because the sets were amazing.
I think what happened is after the shooting in Aurora, they had to go back and refilm a lot of stuff because they had scenes, where people were shot in the movie theater and stuff. And I think when they went back and reworked it, they just messed up continuity issues, so it doesn't make sense anymore. But I'll have to try Repo.
And
maybe.
It's very macabre, and a lot of the songs are catchy, but it's not for everyone.
61,
you might like it.
61% for audience on Gangster Squad.
32.
So Nathan, what did you watch?
I decided to assign mine for homework.
No, you watched
so
Sushi Girl.
I decided to watch Sushi Girl. Yeah, that's right. I forgot. God, I forgot. I get so confused when we do shit backwards. For all of you that aren't aware, and for those of you that are that like to play along with us, we do record 2 shows at once, so fuck off. Yes, I watched Sushi Girl just this morning, actually.
Really? This morning?
Yes. Well, I started watching it last night, and then I finished watching it this morning before work.
So good you couldn't stop.
Right. So good. Well, it was so good that I started it so late though. So, Sushi Girl it stars Mark Hamill, and
Wow.
Yeah.
it
Wow.
stars.
Is this streaming on Netflix?
Yes. Yep. I watched it on Netflix. let's see here.
I've never heard of it. Have you heard of it?
When was it made?
It was made in 2012.
Oh wow. Mark Hamill.
And it has I don't want to watch it. I just want to see about it.
Okay, go back. And then just hover over it.
Thank you. It also has Tony Todd and James Duvall.
Those are not names I've heard of.
James Duvall? You'd never heard James Duvall?
Isn't he Candyman?
Is James Duvall Candyman?
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
I've seen Candyman.
Click on him.
He's in everything. He's in The Rock. If that's the guy we're thinking about.
I think he's in Kaboom and the Doom Generation.
Maybe not. I thought Duvall. Oh, maybe I'm thinking Robert Duvall.
And Cornered. And not another movie.
Jesus Christ.
You know it's bad when Steve-O's on it. God.
So tell us, Sushi Girl.
Sushi Girl was about a heist, not a bank heist, but it was about a heist of jewels. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of got when you're watching it, it kind of has Tarantino style storytelling where you get a clip of what's happening right now, and then they flash back to the actual heist, and then it flashes forward.
Yeah, I like that style of editing.
And then,
it's really fun.
And then, so it goes back and forth, and they all meet together in this. It's kind of like it's like a Japanese-themed big open room with big pillars in it and whatnot. And there's this gal on a table, and she's one of those gals that you eat sushi off of. So she's completely naked, and she has sushi all over her. And as they eat it throughout the movie, she gets more and more naked, which I couldn't help but notice because it was very sexy.
Why would they ruin a perfully naked girl with sushi?
Because
now I
sushi is
why you
amazing.
finished
No, it's
halfway
not.
through the movie and went to sleep.
That's right.
It suddenly became very weary.
Boom! I see him.
God.
No, it's true. No, it's not. So they do this whole heist, and then there's this huge twist at the end that I will not spoil because there's no point in watching it if I spoil this one particular part. But
fair enough.
They flash back and forth. They figure out, like, they see what goes wrong throughout the heist, and then their fall guy goes to jail for 6 years. He gets out of jail, and they decide to tie him up and beat the shit out of him because they think that he has the jewels. And then you think then there's this really scraggly, nasty dude that's in it, and he kind of lets on halfway through that there's some dirty cops involved. So then for a little while you think the dirty cops might have it, and then you think that every single one of the characters has the jewels, and then you think that the whole thing is just a setup, and then you find out the real twist at the end, which I won't spoil, but
it was her all along.
It was
all a dream.
It was, it all happened inside a Wookiee's head. You're like, where the fuck did that come from? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Mark Hamill wakes up and he looks over at Chewbacca.
Chewie, what's wrong?
Yeah, exactly. Mark Hamill plays a really fucking deviant and creepy dude. His hair is long and nasty.
That's cool.
And his character's so deviant and creepy, you kind of hear at certain points he has this really creepy laugh. So at certain points you're like, oh my god, I just saw a flash of the Joker, that's so crazy. So that was kind of cool and kind of fun to watch him do his thing. I find Mark Hamill's acting pretty fascinating myself. Not great. It's not great acting. One thing that I did notice right away about 10 minutes into it, I was like, oh, cool. Every person in this scene is acting. Like you can see, when you're watching something, you're like, oh, they're doing acting right now. So that was kind of frustrating, but other than that, it was really
blame the director and the editors for that stuff.
Really? Yeah.
Because good editing can disguise bad acting.
Yeah.
And
it wasn't that they were bad acting or overacting. It was just for I was sitting there and it just kind of hit me. I was like, oh, these guys are playing a character. They're not.
They're clearly standing in front of cameras.
Yes, yes,
and they're aware of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So overall, though, I gave it 4 stars myself. But as everyone seems to think, I'm easily amused. So you guys might hate it, but I thought it was.
That's definitely true.
I thought it was entertaining enough. Fuck you, Tom. So I thought it was pretty entertaining, and I always like a good heist movie. So.
Heist movies, they're fun. What about you, Jared?
I watched the original Star Trek, Wrath of Khan, whatever, number 2.
Star Trek 2, Wrath of Khan. That's the best one.
It's surprisingly okay.
Yeah. Considering how old and scrappy.
I could go with no Shatner because I think he's steaming
way
pile of
better
shit.
than Pine, though, right? Right.
No. I'll say this, though. It's Shatner's best Kirk. If you go back and watch all of Shatner, he's
They're bad. That's not good.
It's not saying a lot, but
Why is he famous?
Because he
But I love
invented a new style of acting that no one had ever seen before. Sorry.
the dude who plays Khan.
Ricardo Montalban.
That dude, for being an old man, he is ripped.
Yeah, he was awesome in that.
And he is fucking he's actually I was a little bit terrified
Watch the
when he picks up just
picks him up. Yeah,
you're like,
was that Chekhov? Who'd he pick
yeah,
up?
Chekhov,
in his space
Like
suit,
this
too.
heavy duty armored spacesuit. He just grabs the handle on the chest, just hefts him up.
But the only thing I didn't like is they had that epic battle in the sky, and then they just kind of float off after Kirk tricks him into them hacking into their computers or whatever and bringing down their shields. They blast them, and then they just kind of float off like, hey, no. And they're just like, well, that was a close call. Back to Starfleet.
Hey, you know what? The space battle in Wrath of Khan nowadays would never fly.
Yeah.
It's way too slow and way too tame. But at the time, it was the most exciting thing I'd ever seen.
Yeah, starship battles in the movies were like a treat.
And Wrath of Khan. Did you see Kirstie Alley?
Yeah, which was
Like her first movie.
damn.
Wow, look at that.
It's like her first movie. Yeah. But Wrath of Khan,
It's
they I mean, no big spoiler here, but they kill Spock.
yeah.
And nobody saw that coming. And I was 11 when I saw this, and I was in tears. I couldn't believe it. And I remember driving home and just saying, I can't believe they killed Spock.
Yeah.
And my stepdad's like, don't worry, it's a movie. He'll be back.
My. I really
George Takei's
But
the
now that
best.
I've watched an actual old Star Trek movie,
Yeah.
the new ones, amazing.
Yeah, you can see where J.J.
I think
Abrams is like, let's
Bones-
make this movie into a...
The new Bones, way better than the old one.
No,
Yes.
Bill Bones is my favorite.
You don't understand though.
Yeah,
Jared.
but you're saying Carl...
Judgment time.
Yeah, Carl Urban's
Sorry.
awesome. There's no question.
You're never
but-
gonna beat it.
No, but think of all the audiences who watched the entire series.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
an entire series of seeing Bones, Kirk, and Spock going on all these different adventures.
Yeah.
And then seeing them in these movies. And in a movie like Wrath of Khan, which, like you're saying, it's the best Star Trek movie.
Mm-hmm.
And especially after people were excited about the first Star Trek movie. But
It kind of fell
was
down.
kind of,
Yeah.
it's kind of lame. So when you got, and not only that, but bringing back a villain, same actor.
And Wrath of Khan, I don't know what their budget was, but it was like $4 million. Like it was some bananas low, maybe 10 million, but it was so low. And at the time, they were shoestringing it all the way, and it looks good for the shoestring. And it's definitely got a script that, the reason it holds up as the best of the Star Treks in most fans' minds is because it has an actual story to it. Like there's actual consequences and things matter. Yeah, you'll find it on Wikipedia.
I think it's at 11 million.
Budget was
11.2.
11.2, and it made 97.
This movie is almost exactly as old as I am, but it's short, like 2 months as old as I am.
Wow.
Yeah, and Kirstie Alley, it's like her first movie, and
she's a Vulcan.
a Vulcan,
which is pretty weird.
yeah, it is kind of.
You
a
get to see her
twist.
calm for once.
Yeah.
It's a different character. Well, it was, at the time, it was the first time we'd seen her. We were all like, "Who's the sexy Vulcan?" Right? And she went on her own directions.
But it was surprisingly good
Wide
for
directions.
for being a Star Trek movie, which I'm not a big fan of Star Trek.
I'll tell you what, if you can do it, and you probably can't, but if you can sit down and watch the entire original series, and it's like 78 episodes or something, by the end of that, you'll be so in love with those guys that when you watch Wrath of Khan, you will cry
And
when Spock
on
dies.
Netflix, they have the newer version. Like they've updated the old version, unfortunately. But it'll make it's easier. Makes it easier for people who have never seen the series to watch.
How is it updated?
The ship, the angles, the planets, everything.
They cleaned it up with the special effects.
Yep, and it looks good. It looks
have to
good.
try that.
But
check
at the same
one of those
time,
out.
I'm kind of one of those people who are like, no.
The entire original series is on Netflix to
The
stream.
best
And the
birthday
Next Generation,
gift
too.
I ever got. Kimberly got it for me my second year knowing her. She got me this birthday gift. It was the complete Star Trek original series on DVD.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, I would never even dare ask for it because it's too cool, you know? And so we sat down and watched like 20 episodes over the course of a few weeks. And what I realized is the reason I love the first ones is they're hilarious. They don't mean to be hilarious, right? They're trying to
They're
be
just
serious.
cheesy though.
But they've
because
got that. There's this whole cheesy. Like every time a sexy woman walks on screen, she's shot close up, and it goes into this soft focus. Like everything else is clear, and then suddenly she's soft focus and lit with like backlight and stuff.
Yeah.
And this song goes. Wah, 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 wah. You know? And Captain Kirk's always like, "Ooh, hello.
Yeah.
What planet are you from?" You know, and
That's
it's so
great.
cheesy and it's so wrong. And it's a show about how different races and different people in the future can work. We can work together as humans
Yeah,
and
the
come
writer.
together, and it's really uplifting. And then the shortest skirt you ever see walks by, and you're like, "Yeah, no racism, but sexism." Hello.
which was kind of funny. Which is what I kind of laughed at was when Chrissy Alley comes into the elevator and she's got her hair down for the first time in front of Shatner, because you know that Shatner is like the whole, he sleeps with all the aliens.
Sure.
And he's like, just like, "Oh, did you do something different?" Like, "Oh, I didn't notice."
No, yeah, it's for those of us who've put the time in, and I've put in way too much time. Star Trek is just one of those delights that I'll hold forever.
Okay, now,
Yeah.
Lewis, just real quick, look at just all the things available on
On Netflix,
streaming.
Oh yeah, it's
available.
all available. You could spend a year just watching streaming.
So
I love Star Trek.
all
Nemesis,
Star
I was
Trek,
gonna say.
all Next Generation, all Voyager, all Enterprise, all Deep Space Nine. Like every series is completely available. The animated series.
now my question is, which ones are worth watching? Which ones are worth skipping for
Watch
people?
Nemesis.
Skip Voyager, Enterprise.
Voyager's the worst.
Okay,
I'd say Enterprise is.
I've
just as
heard
bad.
people say that the last 2 seasons of Enterprise get really good, but I never made it past the first season.
Yeah.
4 seasons of that, 7 seasons of Voyager.
They try to go 7. Now, if you go Next Generation, the first
7
2
seasons of
seasons,
that.
the first 2 seasons are just bad. The next 5 seasons, actually, you can tell if it's a good episode or not by Riker. If he has a beard, it'll be a good episode. If he's shaved, it'll
Really?
be a shit episode.
That's
That's
fa-
literally the flip.
That's
Sometimes.
fascinating.
I highly recommend all the original, and then Deep Space Nine. After you got to watch all of them, but after about season 3, it starts to get really good. That's probably the second best of all of them.
I was actually surprised how good Deep Space Nine was.
Deep Space Nine gets better, but it's especially after about halfway through this series that it starts to get really good. Keep in mind, these shows came out back when the idea of like a season arc story where something would happen in the first episode and it would play through a number of episodes. That did not happen, period, in any TV. And it starts with Babylon 5, which isn't Star Trek, but Babylon 5 gave Star Trek the idea, so halfway through Deep Space Nine they start doing it, and that's when that show starts getting really good too. The movies, I think conventional wisdom says you watch the even ones.
Yeah.
So don't watch 1, watch 2. Don't watch 3, watch 4.
4 wasn't.
Four's- I think four's shitty, but you got to watch the third to see how
Yeah.
Spock comes back.
Yeah. And
But-
it's probably the best odd one.
Yeah, but the back and forth, like Star Trek 5 is probably the worst movie. Period. It's not even the worst Star Trek. It's like the worst ever of all movies.
Which one is number 5?
The Search for God. I don't know what it's called. Star Trek 5.
That's right.
Undiscovered Country.
There's
Or-
only-
No, it's before. It's Star Trek 5, the piece of shit. I think
There's
is what
only
it's called.
3 available. There's 1, 2, and 3, and then there's Nemesis,
Which
and
is
then
10.
there's Insurrection.
Yeah, Nemesis is 10.
I remember when Nemesis came out. I remember when Insurrection came out. That was a huge
Insurrection was bad.
That was a terrible.
It was bad.
I love Nemesis.
Yeah, the one before Insurrection's pretty good though.
Is that the First Contact?
First Contact one? Yeah,
I like that one.
It's pretty good. Again, the even ones tend to be better than the odd ones. There's a level of cheese in all of them that J.J. Abrams, like Jarod was saying, came to Star Trek and he said, no, these aren't fun to watch. They're just for nerds, right?
Yeah.
And so J.J. Abrams ramps it up so that anyone can watch Star Trek. Like, you cannot give a shit about Captain Kirk, go into a new Star Trek and be like, that was all right. That's kind of fun. The old ones, you can't do that. You have to kind of buckle down and be like, okay, here we go. Oh, Khan's cool, but, oh, geez, what is Shatner doing, You just have to buckle down and bear it.
Okay.
So, news?
Yes.
All right. We're down here, buddy.
Yeah.
Archie. So guess what I heard? It's on the internet. They're making a live-action version of Archie, the comic book. But
And
they're thinking of putting zombies in there.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
rumored. Yeah. So if you scroll up just a bit, you'll see the headline.
Oh, nice.
Possibly with zombies.
Jesus.
Why not? Right?
so technically, it would kind of be like how Oz Zombies was.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
It's
It
pretty
might
much the
be.
same movie, is what it's going to be.
It might be. I mean, well, who reads Archie, first of all?
Well, I read them back in the day.
Yeah, everyone read them back when they were 12, and their cousin had a copy and gave it to them. But no one reads Archie on purpose, right? No one's still buying them as an adult.
Never read a page of it. Ever.
It's just the same
Besides
kind of thing
only
over and
gum.
over and over and over again.
Yeah, and Archie's not one of those. I don't know. I mean, it's a story about teenagers from the 60s. Look at them; they're drinking a milkshake, right?
Jughead has a crown.
Jughead wears a crown. Archie's got two girlfriends, Veronica and Betty.
And he wears his
Who will he pick? The blonde or the brunette?
Girl
Fucking
next
jacket,
door
yeah.
and rich daddy's girl.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just one of those comics that it's really hard to think that anybody cares anymore.
For being an older thing, why does that guy have a
To be
handheld
honest,
camera?
it was well.
Good point.
I mean, it's for generally speaking, the audience is young girls who
Younger.
like reading kind of shallow relationship stories.
Do girls read Archie? Is that who reads them?
Stereotypically, in
That's
the past.
awesome. All right, okay.
I even admit I read them. They're my sisters, but I'm just saying.
My cousin had some, and I read a few.
Yeah.
And I read them. I was like, "Oh, is he gonna pick Archie? Is he gonna
Or
pick Betty?
Betty,
Or
or-
I hope he picks Betty.
Reggie's such a jerk.
Yeah, Reggie's a jerk. Jughead's hilarious.
Look, he's eating another hamburger.
Is Jughead kind of a stoner?
Yeah, he's the stupid guy that eats a lot. I mean, no one's a stoner because this is not an adult in
Yeah.
any way.
Yeah.
But
But if they were to make it into a little more adult
he would
themed,
translate into the stoner. Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know how zombies would ever tie into this. It seems like a complete different direction, unless they did like Oz Zombies, where it's just silly zombie
They're
stuff.
running away and stupid zombie things happen.
Right, right. So anyway, there's that. Oh, I do have a couple other quick notes. Here's one that none of you will care about. Carrie Mulligan. Do you know Carrie Mulligan? She's the really cute girl from an Education. No?
It sounds really familiar.
She's she plays Daisy in The Great Gatsby. She's got the short hair.
We talked about her last week.
You had a crush on her, right?
Because of an Education. She's great in an Education.
That's right.
Apparently, she's in talks to play Hillary Clinton in the new movie Rodham.
No way.
Wow.
You guys
She's
excited?
too cute, though.
She's so
Yeah.
cute. Look at how cute
I mean,
she
like
is.
if she does that, I will not be able to masturbate or think about whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They'd
Who's
have
gonna
to
play
make
Bill?
her a lot
It's a great-
scarier.
It's
and
apparently just right now.
Who's
getting
going to do
developed.
Bill and who's
John
going to do...
Travolta.
Yeah, John Travolta. No, it's in development. He already did Bill Clinton. in
Andrew
that one.
Garfield will.
Yeah,
Actually, yeah.
I don't know.
I
It'll
could see
be
it.
interesting. I could see it too. It'll be interesting. I don't know. I mean,
I did not have sex with that woman.
That's Spider-Man, right? Right now.
I get it's.
Well,
kind
he
of
could
a-
because he was slinging
You
weapons.
know, she's British. She's very British. I'm always wondering why we can't find any good actors in America. Everyone's British or Australian or
I'd like to introduce to you this actor. His name's Vin Diesel.
Is he American?
I don't think so.
Actually, he's not British. I know
No,
that
he's
for a fact.
American. He's got to be American.
Yeah, I've heard him talk. Maybe he's Canadian. I don't know.
That's possible.
You'll get some Canadian actors in there too.
I think they're just branching out because most American actors that are probably going down there are all hipster douchebags.
To L.A.
To L.A., yeah.
Who knows?
It could be.
Or they're like, I'm too good to do films.
is it-
I only do theater.
Is it bad for me?
But that's why the British have such good
Monocle.
actors,
Yeah,
is
as I
because
was
they
gonna
all
say,
train in
the
theater,
theater.
so they know how to actually keep a character
I was wondering.
and not come off like they're acting in front of cameras.
Yeah.
I was wondering
Plus
if that'd be
the
close-minded
Kardashians.
to.
He was born in 1967.
They're all watching the Kardashians.
What?
Is why people are
Vin
retarded.
Diesel's old,
I
man.
didn't know he was that old.
He's
Yeah.
4 years older than me, and I'm older than your
You haven't
grandma's
seen him age in the
underpants.
last 10
Ew.
years?
My grandma's underpants are probably soiled.
New York.
They
there
might
you
be.
go.
Okay, so the last bit of news I have is that Nathan Fillion said that making Serenity 2, the sequel, would be impossible.
Oh.
So you can put your eyebrows back down. I know, I was like, oh, Serenity 2! And then I clicked on the article and it's like, never gonna happen.
Why would you break our hearts?
Yes, why Nathan Fillion would you
No.
break our hearts?
What if he's just doing it to keep us from like, ooh, Serenity 2? And he's just fucking with everybody.
Well, I don't know how the...
You mean like when they said it wasn't Khan in Star Trek?
Exactly.
Oh, that was such a stupid move on their part. Maybe Joss Whedon now has more money than he knows what to do with, and he'll go make his own movie. But
Can I tell you something very, very surprising about Joss Whedon?
yes,
I, first of all, didn't know he was as old as he is because I was watching an episode of Roseanne the other day from probably season 2 based off of the opening.
Uh-huh.
And credits are flashing, written by Joss Whedon. I was like, what
no,
the
you're
fuck?
kidding.
Yeah.
How
Really?
old is he? Click on
I
him.
have no idea, but
That's hilarious.
old enough to have written it.
64.
Ah, wow, he is.
So
I
he's
did
49
not
years old.
know that.
So what? That would have had to have been like, he had to be
Early.
like 20, something like that.
Yeah, he had
early
a-
on.
Well, here's a... We'll figure it out. Here's
Roseanne, yeah, 89.
Yep.
Or-
Yeah, you're right. Back in '89, he's writing them.
Yep.
Hey, scroll back up. Let's see what else he's got on the
Firefly, Buffy, Angel,
burner.
Oh, on the
Dr.
burner.
Horrible sing-along blog, Commentary the Musical.
In Your Eyes.
In Your Eyes. I
What's
wonder what that is.
The Avengers 2. Oh, and I did read that Joss Whedon says that he can't imagine making Avengers 2 without Robert Downey Jr.
I saw that.
So we should all anticipate that
Hopefully,
will happen.
Downey Jr. will pull his head out of his ass and.
Well, he's playing around, but he'll come back. He knows that that's the
Maybe
the
he's just
part
trying. Maybe
for
he's
him.
just trying to
Quit being
branch
so
out. is
greedy.
why.
Come on. It wasn't
Trying to-
about money.
Trying to branch
It's
out,
all
but
about
it's so
money, guys.
amazing.
It's always about
It's
money.
not about the fans.
In Your Eyes
Yeah.
is two seemingly polar opposites are deeply connected in ways neither could have ever imagined. Sorry, I can't hardly read from back here.
That sounds so boring.
Yeah. that's-
Sorry, yeah, it kind of does.
Well, to be fair, it sounds like they're being vague. on
There's no
purpose.
to be fair, Thomas. It sounds awful.
It's Joe Sweden.
We'll go see it. In
Oh,
Your
yeah,
Eyes,
definitely.
written, not directed. Right? Written by, but not
Yes,
directed by.
yes, correct.
All right, anyway, that's it for my news. You guys got any news? No?
I just know about the Expendables 3
Oh, yeah.
announcement.
What was the big announcement?
Big announcement for Expendables 3. They're adding Nicolas Cage, more of a Expendables protector.
How to get burned? How to get burned?
Milia Jovovich, though, so that movie's gonna suck. They're adding,
Jovovich. What?
yeah,
Suck.
ugh.
It might not.
Ugh, Jackie Chan.
Pass.
Am I the only
Right?
one that thinks Mila Jovovich is cute?
Attractive, yes. You're the
Attractive?
only one.
Oh, there's no doubt that she's attractive to look at. I can't fucking watch her on a TV screen.
I
though.
love watching her do her character. It's always the exact same character. I'm tough and I'm going to kick your ass, even though I weigh 47 pounds.
Oh, and they busted Wesley Snipes out of prison for Expendables 3.
Yay!
So,
That's so racist. Jet Li's character's name is Yin Yang. Really?
well, Mickey
Really?
Rourke's name's Tool.
Yeah. And he's a mechanic.
That's because Stallone wrote it, and he's like,
And yeah, and,
what's a Chinese name?
Lee,
I don't know, just something
yeah.
Chinese sounding.
and Statham's is Lee
Yin Yang.
Christmas.
Lee Christmas.
Lee Christmas.
Nice.
And
My
why would
name's Lee
why would
Christmas.
Stallone use Barney as
His own name. Yeah, Barney Ross.
Barney Ross.
Named after the world's most awesome cop, Barney
Barney
Fife.
I'm a badass. I'm gonna kick your
I
ass.
thought you were gonna say Barney
Watch
Rubble.
out. I'm Barney Ross.
You know, I'm kind of not scared of you.
Explosion behind him.
Bad
Watch
guy
it.
never
Ow,
look
ow,
at explosions.
Yeah, all right, that's true. They are okay. So that's good news. Homework.
I
Jared,
assigned this homework
you assigned us.
because I wanted to liven up the mood because
Have
we've
you
been doing a lot of
Yeah,
darker-ish
Yeah. we
movies.
saw some dark stuff last
And
week.
so I wanted to bring a little bit of humor, hopefully, but apparently it didn't from what Tom was saying.
Now, have you seen
Unicorn
this before?
City? No, I saw a trailer for it,
Oh,
and
okay.
I wanted to watch it just because it involved like Dungeons and Dragons kind of shit, which
Uh-huh.
is what I really like. And then it was doing the whole LARPing thing,
There was
which
a lot of
I think
LARPing.
is funny. LARPing is just funny.
It is funny.
For those of you who don't know, LARPing is live action
Action role
role playing. That's where you dress up
As like your D&D character.
like a D&D guy and you
Like
run around.
I am
and-
a half-elf orc, wizard goblin.
Speaking
I will
of-
smite
Right.
you with my wands of justice.
And you hit
Speaking
each
of
other
half
with
things-
like foam swords, and you pretend to throw magic spells at each other.
Best part of the whole movie was that dude's fucking Minotaur or
Oh
whatever
my
the
God,
fuck
I
he
know.
was.
Centaur.
Did you
yeah.
not?
Centaur.
Come on, Tom.
That was awesome. The Centaur outfit.
Once you
was
go
really-
Centaur, you never go back. And he's got it's a wine or a beer cooler, and he's just like, "Yeah, I'll go do it."
So I gotta say,
Fucking hilarious.
I have got to say,
God damn it,
I
Tom.
started out Unicorn City, and I'm like, it's the opening scene where they're sitting around the table playing their role playing game, and I go, "Hey, look at the games behind him on the wall there. Those are the kind of games I buy." And then I looked at the wall a little closer, and I'm like, I've bought games off that wall. That's Hastur Hobbies. And yep, it was. It was filmed in Salt Lake. Whenever I go home to visit my mom in Salt Lake, I stop at Hastur Hobbies. So I recognize the game store really well. Like I knew everything about that game store. I walked through it about 30
Were the
times.
workers the actual workers?
This is
I think
LARPing,
those
by
were
the way,
the actual
kids.
workers. The workers were the real guys that
When
worked
they're
there.
just staring at him.
Now what you
I
don't
love that. That was great.
What you don't see is guys sitting around a table playing a role-playing game.
Yeah.
I have seen guys, they have computers set up there where people go in and they pay by the hour and they play World of Warcraft. So like if they can't afford a computer
Yeah.
at home, they'll go there and pay. It's like $5 an hour. It's ridiculous how much they charge. And then there's just all sorts of games around there. And I've seen miniature games played on that table they were playing on.
I think they
like Warhammer and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, you'll see that. But yeah, so what did you think?
I loved the movie. I thought it was just fun, entertaining. It kind of trails off in certain parts, but but I like the whole time. I'm just like, come on, dude, pull your head out of your ass. The main character,
Right.
just trapped in that.
I loved
that
how he lived in
realm.
that fucking
I know,
closet.
lived in the closet.
He literally lived behind the
That
clothes.
was funny. The closet was an interesting.
When his brother
Movie.
chokes him out for not going to the taco stand to work. You're late. Literally chokes him out to where
He's
he
like
passes out.
He's like tapping him on the
Just
head.
drops him.
Love it. I love it.
And I have to say, the actor after he gets choked out, he like passes out on the floor in the coolest way. Like he looks like he's done.
Yeah.
he looked dead. Boy, that girl was so ugly. The main girl, right? She had glasses and a ponytail.
Yeah.
I could not believe how gross she
I'm
was.
glad you know so.
Yeah.
So the lead nerd girl, who the main guy
Is
just
really-
can't seem to notice is gorgeous.
Yeah.
But she's got glasses and a ponytail, and we all
So
know
she's a
that
nerd.
somehow
And she
that-
also plays online video games.
You know what
And
was funny is when they're playing that online video game and the one guy
I
gets
found
sad,
a boyfriend.
and
Yeah,
all
just
the
like
all the bad scenes.
I just want to be alone
I
now.
want to be alone right now.
Yeah.
Just falls over dead.
So there's some cute little moments.
Yeah.
I thought there were some fun moments. For me, I get a little frustrated because I do play role playing games like Dungeons and Dragons. I haven't in a few years. I miss it.
Oh my
But-
god. Continue. I have an idea.
Oh, I'll play.
Okay.
Anything. I've got so many games and books I've carted around the United States.
Let's do it.
Anyway, you don't sit around a table and go, my guy is what my guy helps. No, he can't help. He's stuck in the astral plane. then I demand that we fight a dragon. Okay, then roll this die. Oh, you have to roll higher than an 8 or else you don't. Like that whole sequence, I was like, that's never ever happened in a real role-playing game. That's what someone would write that doesn't actually know what's going on. That they just kind of imagine it. That's what it looks like from the outside.
But isn't it because that dude's just being a dick and not letting that guy play the way he wants to play?
The whole idea was ridiculous. That's what annoyed me about the movie, as far as they took every single little stereotype they could find, like, anywhere, and they put it in this movie. Like, every stereotype of LARPing, every stereotype of people who play D&D or any sort of board game, and then they just threw it in. And then none of these people are obviously normal outside these games. They're just they're like their characters. And then what made it boring for me, rather, was as soon as the whole point of him making Unicorn Town is to get this job, to show that he has leadership skills. At that point where he's trying to get a job, I knew what the rest of the movie was going to be about. Like, I predicted everything to a T.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
It was a formula.
It was very formulaic.
I was telling Lewis the other day, I was like, there was a couple cliches that they followed, like, to the T.
Yeah, it was, and then from there on, they never surprised me.
Yeah. That's true. I did like the part where they got ditched on the top of the mountain, or on top of that hill or whatever, and they had to walk back for a couple hours.
But guess what? I knew it was gonna happen. Him and his best friend were gonna get in a fight, and they never resolved that. Of course,
they didn't
just
actually
make the main character look like a dick.
Well, he gave him his sword back.
No, he even went back to
No,
the
he
camp.
mailed
that pipe
He
sword.
mailed the pipe sword to his buddy in the military.
That was a cool scene when he just whacks that guy.
I love that.
You know, I mean, okay, so it's a very low budget film. It's made in Salt Lake City.
Whoa,
but
ghost.
it was fun.
There's a ghost here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I'm doing that.
Telekinesis, TK.
Nice. I'm into it.
Yeah.
I guess it was fun, but it just, like, you know, his big friend. He's
Can
doing what the big guys do.
But that's the whole point why I picked it. Was because it was just a dorky, fun movie.
I think they had a really good opportunity, and they just kind of like grabbed what was like easy to do, and then that's what they rolled with.
Can I contrast something here real quick? I ended up watching last week's homework before this one, so in comparison, I thought this fucking movie was amazing because I'm like, at least there's not blood coming on someone, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
It was definitely a change of emotional pace.
And I'm not kidding. Like, I watched them back to back.
I did too.
Yeah. Like,
I watched
one right after the other. So,
and watching the first one, Antichrist.
Yeah, I might have.
I did need a Unicorn City.
Yeah, honestly, I might have been a little less harsh on it just for that fact because of what I watched first. And honestly, I'm kind of glad that I watched that first, because if I would have watched that and then watched Antichrist, I would have been like, well, does anybody have a knife or something I can borrow? Because I would really like to open a vein right now in my penis.
Oh, God.
Way to bring it back.
That's right.
Anyway, it was fun. I like seeing kind of smaller films, but it wasn't my favorite in as far as showing what role-playing really is.
I think I wrote...
It was more about LARPing than real role-playing.
The soundtrack is more clever than this movie.
Yeah.
Aww.
There was definitely a lot of... like you said. It was formulaic.
I actually like the soundtrack.
But I did too. I actually liked it too.
It reminded me of kind of a more European feel to it. You know, like you said, low budget, or maybe something you'd watch, like, as far as... It reminded me of Amelie, to be honest.
You get to also see Uncle Rico from the Dynamite.
I sat there for probably 20 minutes going, who the fuck was that? And finally it dawned on me. I'm like, oh, that's Uncle Rico with no mustache. But
I think you're just
goatee.
mad because he's a bardladin and slaying and singing is what he does best.
Well said. So, Nathan.
Yes.
What's our homework for next week?
I watched, while I was sitting there right after Unicorn City, I popped on, I don't know, I must have not had anything going on that day because I just banged out like 3 movies in a row. I put on Hit and Run, and I really enjoyed it so much to the point where I wanted to see what you guys thought about it. Hit and Run is from 2011, I think.
Who's in that? Jason Statham?
No.
It sounds like a Jason Statham.
I've steered clear of a Jason Statham movie for you guys. I watched one. I watched. Who the fuck was it? Bradley Cooper's in it.
Oh, Bradley Cooper. Dax Shepard.
Kristen Bell,
They're
and
married, you know.
Tom Arnold. I didn't know that, but
Dude.
apparently
Kristen Bell's cute.
they
I know
met.
which one you're talking about.
I guess they met on the set of this movie, correct?
Oh, really?
I think that's what the wifely said.
I don't think so because they've already had a kid.
Oh, have they? Holy shit!
Yeah.
And that kid is 17
And I
years
think
old.
they're married.
And it's severely retarded. I'm just saying.
Just saying. Okay,
I
so
think
Hit
they
and
were
Run?
together back when Fanboys came out.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit. That's it's a more than anything, it's a love story based around a car chase movie. So I love a great car chase movie. Obviously, we all love the Fast and Furious franchise or whatever. This isn't anything close to as cool as the Fast and Furious franchise, but there is a lot of cool muscle cars in the movie. And actually, there's just one really cool muscle car in the movie, and then there's one really cool one at the end. But there, like this one muscle car, kind of is almost a character in the movie. You'll see what I'm talking about when you get to it. But
Nice.
I ended up enjoying it so much, and we all have been enjoying watching and talking about the Fast and Furious movies so much that I wanted to see what you guys thought about this one. So instead of assigning Red State, which I almost did, one of these times I'm going to assign that though, so we have to watch it. I'm going to make you guys
please
watch it.
assign it. I want to see it. Okay, so Hit and Run this time.
Hit and Run this time, and maybe when it's my turn next time, we'll do. Actually, we will do Red State next time because Thomas was furiously shaking his head. So we'll make him do it because
Sounds
he makes
awesome.
me watch shit movies too. So.
All right, well that's it.
All right. So yes, check out Hit and Run. It's from 2000, and you can check that out.
2000 what?
2000, and it's on Watch Instantly as of right this second. So
Sounds good.
hopefully it's still there when you guys get to it.
All right, well, that's our show for today, guys. Thank you for listening to our podcast. This is Sir Jarod, and at Nathan Obetz, and at Bad Thomas, and at The Professor. We do homeworks every week, so please get us onto that. And
We actually have to skip our outro music for right now
Yeah.
because it's been flagged on the YouTubes. So we're not even gonna
skip
add
it
it.
for
We're
now.
just gonna skip it until we find something better. I have a feeling I might have to sit down with you, Jarod, and actually make something that's not anyone's but ours. 'Cause I think that might have to be something that we do here in the next little while. So
As long as it doesn't sound like Blink-182. That's
we're
great.
definitely, you know what, Jarod?
that's what we're going to do. We're just going to do Blink now.
We're gonna do Blink. We're gonna do all. We're gonna take
all the small
Guys,
things.
We're gonna take a.
Guys, we want people to watch the show. Not
She left
Trust me.
roses, boy, to stay.
Trust me, if we did a Blink thing, it would increase our audience by 10. I'm just saying.
by 10.
Fold. By 10-fold. yeah.
okay.
By
From
10-fold.
1 to 11.
That's right. So yeah, 10
That's
times
about
1's
right.
still 10, so, you know.
Thanks for listening,
give
that
it-
one
yeah.
person out there. We
That's right.
do appreciate you.
And tell 10 of your friends if you got them. Or tell one, and then one, and then one, so that we'll have 10. Because right now, in perpetuity, we've always had just 4 fans. Just 4.
Yay, but
Just the 4.
Whatever.
That balances
That
it
works.
That's
We
right.
do it for you 4.
All
All
4
right.
of you.
But guys, give us homework to do. Leave little comments below. I think now that we're on the YouTubes.
We still forgot to get to Feast. Sorry, Amanda, we'll get to it, I promise.
God damn it!
One of these days.
Well, it's hard because it's not
Because
free.
it's, well, yeah, you
Yeah.
have to pay for it on the Amazon. And
Why wouldn't you give us something free, Amanda?
I've
Make it sad.
I've seen it. I can talk about it, but I don't want to be the only one because I only saw it the one time. So I would rather talk with people
We'll
about
see
it.
it. We'll see it.
And,
We'll
you,
get to it.
and you probably liked it.
We'll
anyways.
get to it.
It's not a bad movie, there, fuckface. So
No, I'd like to talk. I'd like to see
Yeah,
it.
it's
I've
good.
wanted to see it for a long time. Okay.
But yeah, that's the show, guys. Once again, thank you for listening, and peace. Have a wonderful movie night.
and then we'll just pretend like the music's playing right now. Oh shit! Really? Holy shit! All right.
Have you, have you guys
All right.
seen
Goodbye,
Revolver?
everybody. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.